Hello, welcome to the Seedlinks Insights with some tips and tricks on how you can increase employee satisfaction and retention in the workplace. My name is Helena Vandebeeck. I'll talk about 9 steps that are important in the employee journey and how a company can prevent new joiners leaving through the back door soon after they have joined the company. First, a few words on what my company does. Seedlinks is a boutique executive search and advisory firm, and we focus on the agribusiness sectors on the African continent. Companies ask us to find international talent for their C-level roles. But we can also give advice on, for example, challenges with employee retention. We can design a program and recruitment policy for junior profiles. We call it the Junior Academy program. Or look at board composition and governance issues. If you want more information on what we do, please visit our website. Now, let's talk about the topic of the day. The typical employee journey consists of 3 phases. First is the influx phase, second, progression, and third, the outflow, each divided in 3 building blocks. All these building blocks combined form the employee journey and, if handled with care, will lead to your employees staying on board instead of exiting. What's the use of showing a beautifully cladded shiny building to newcomers if the interior is damp, old-fashioned, or even unpleasant? What I want to say with this imagery is that people will very soon look for the exit in such an environment. For a good employee journey, you need to ensure that also the interior of your office building is neat and welcoming, and that everyone likes to be there and wants to stay. You want to create a working environment where your employees do not even know where the exit is. Let me take you through the different phases and steps of the employee journey and show you how to make the journey a pleasant one. The model starts with the influx. This is everything before the actual first day on the job. Step 1. Branding of your company. This concerns the first time a person hears about your company. And as everyone knows, you only get one chance to make a first impression. It is therefore very important that the image you portray through your marketing strategy is in line with your company's DNA. Is there a match between your company's culture and values and the image you send out through your communication channels? Be sure that you are communicating a consistent message through all your marketing mix elements. Don't neglect your company's website, which is your brand's face and identity to a significant level. But also important are posts on, for example, LinkedIn that refer to your company. This brings me to the next point of ambassadors. Your current employees are the living proof of your company and of your company's culture and values. I advise you to use this and give them a face and voice in your marketing strategy. A few carefully chosen employees can be the connection from outside to your company. And as a bonus, they will be very proud to be able to show the world in what a fantastic company they are working. Helping employees build their personal brand will help your company. Step 2 of the influx phase, the matching. As soon as a person who is of interest to your company has gotten to know about you, you of course want them to be positively interested to join your team. According to me, there are a number of steps that you should go through to be able to successfully recruit a top professional. First pillar, if you hire a recruiter, be sure that they are truly involved and enthusiastic about your business. The recruiter should already portray your company's value and culture. The recruiter should be your ambassador, as they are the first contact between your company and the candidate in question. Make sure timely and honest communication towards candidates is core for the recruiter. You do not want a person interested in a job backing out because of a bad experience with the recruiter. Equally important is that the recruiter does not make promises that cannot be held by you later on. Secondly, when selecting candidates, look at competencies, of course, but equally important is attitude. Try to attract people that already fit your company, values and culture. A third pillar is what I call the refer a friend policy. As mentioned before, your employees are your ambassadors. They have a professional network of their own. Some companies give incentives in the form of a bonus or something else to employees who bring in a person who then successfully joins your team and stays for a predefined minimum time frame. This again influences the commitment and bonding of your employees. But the most important pillar in successful matching process is clear communication. I advise companies to not only talk about the job on offer and the financial package that comes with this job, but also talk about career opportunities and, for example, your policy with regards to continuous education. Besides these typical HR topics, please also talk about your general company strategy, your daily operations, what's happening in the business, etc., etc. The candidate should ideally get a very realistic idea of what he or she can expect if they join the company. A mismatch in expectations is the primary reason people leave within the first 6 months of joining. An additional tip I can give you is to make sure the candidate leaves the interview with a positive memory. You want to stay top of mind with this candidate, who is probably looking at multiple companies. To this effect, you can give him or her a nice company brochure or pen to take home. Step 3 of the influx phase, the pre-boarding. Once you have found your ideal match and have come to an agreement with this person, you should give the necessary attention to pre-boarding. This is the time between signing of the contract and the actual first day on the job. Key here is to keep the person engaged with you and your company. There is a war for talent going on, so it is increasingly difficult in today's world to find the right person. And when you have found him or her, you do not want them to be persuaded by the previous employer, for example, to revisit their decision of leaving. Candidates may also be targeted by one of your competitors. And out of sight is out of mind. That's why you need to stay close to your match and make him or her already feel part of the team even before the starting date. Communication is key and can take different forms. Why not send a birthday card or Christmas card? Invite a person to a corporate event or a team building exercise. You can also constitute a gift pack for new joiners with products of your company, any corporate merchandise you may have, anything that makes the person feel really welcome will do. This brings us to phase 2 of the employee journey, the progression of the employee in your company. The onboarding process helps new hires adjust to the social and performance aspects of their jobs so they can quickly become productive, contributing members of the organization. First of all, make sure the new hire feels welcome. Well begun is half done. So ideally, when the new hire comes to the office on his first day, he is greeted by someone he met during the influx phase. This will reassure him that he will be taken care of on the first day. When he arrives at his desk, his computer should be ready, the email installed, his business cards printed, and his chair waiting for him. I personally once experienced what an effect not being ready can have on you. When I arrived on a new job, I was being dropped in a dirty office by someone who clearly had no time for me. There was no computer. You can imagine how confused I was. Truly questioned if I had made the right decision accepting this job. Please don't be that company. Another tip is to try to organize a pleasant introduction with the team and departments of close collaboration. This can be over lunch if everyone is busy. Just make sure that the new hire is not just dropped somewhere and feels lost in this new environment. But most importantly, celebrate every new hire. Every first day on a new company is a milestone for that person. So celebrate it in the appropriate way. You can treat the person with sweets, which can be shared with the new colleagues, or perhaps a more healthy alternative like fresh fruit. In this way, you not only show the new hire that he's welcome, but this also shows your other employees that having someone new in the team is a positive thing. The second pillar of a successful onboarding is coaching. You want your new hires to quickly adapt to your company's culture and customs. A good way to guide this process is to assign a mentor to every new hire. This is the go-to colleague that can help with any question in an informal way. I also advise companies to have a more formal immersion day where you bring together every new starter of the last 3, 6, 12 months. Explain where your company comes from and where it is going. Envision future possibilities for your staff in a company. Humans by nature like to look ahead. We like to plan for, anticipate, and straight up daydream about what's coming and what might be. If you can get new employees excited to imagine their future roles at your company, then you're well on the way to high employee retention. To make that future possible, investing extra time in those first few weeks of employee onboarding can help build that foundation for them at your company. Translate this ambition into a training plan if possible. The principle of a learning network is that you bring together people of the same profile, for example, administrative staff, purchasers, team leaders, or managers, for them to share experiences and learn from each other. You have a lot of knowledge in your company. It would be a shame to lose that knowledge because you do not create the environment for learning and sharing. Sometimes companies think they need to hire external consultants to come and explain to employees what some of them already know and perhaps even know better. You build stronger companies if you encourage people to be their best self. I advise companies to invest in personal coaching and follow-up of their employees. Now, what I mean with personal coaching is not something fancy. It is just giving genuine attention to the ambitions, but also the worries of your employees. Try to schedule regular moments to sit together, and please do not call them evaluation interviews. I personally have never been in favor of formalized evaluations, coupled with talks about bonuses and other, because these often feel somehow aggressive. Nobody likes these talks. Instead, I advise companies to adopt a softer approach. Be authentic, sincere, give room for two-way communication, allowing input from both sides. Work with action points and be development-oriented. People want to work for an organization with purpose and want a role where they can contribute to this purpose. Make sure that every employee, from the cleaner to the executive, knows that they play a role in the success of the company. So how can you achieve this? Try to increase the engagement of your staff. Organize working groups around important topics for your company, important projects, giving people a voice and a feeling that they have an impact. Spending time together creates a vibe of connectedness, team spirit, and this enhances the engagement of the staff towards the organization. Milestones. A company has its own timeline, and your employees have their place on this timeline. Show your appreciation and celebrate not only the milestones of the company, but also those of your employees in the company. Celebrate that employment anniversary. Your company is part of society, and you probably have determined your values and how you want to contribute to a bigger whole. Involve your employees in this identity. Make them part of your purpose, sustainability efforts, and even the charities your company supports. Make them feel proud of the organization they are part of. Diversity and inclusion. Those are perhaps trendy words at the moment, but workplaces that prioritize diversity and inclusion have been statistically proven to be safer, happier, and more productive work environments. That brings us to phase 3 of the employee journey, the outflow of the employee. Absenteeism can be a huge and very costly problem for companies. So how can you tackle this problem? When an employee lets you know that he will remain absent from work for a longer period, for example due to illness or having to take care of a loved one or any other reason, and you consider the person as valuable to your organization, and anyone should be by definition, right? You should try to give attention to his or her problem. Be compassionate and understanding. During the absence, keep in touch and ensure that the company stays on top of mind of the employee. Make him still feel part of the team. And when the employee is ready to come back, it is sometimes just like the first working day for him. Depending on the length of the absenteeism, the company and its people may have changed, and you want your employee to reintegrate as quickly as possible, so you need to make him or her feel welcome again. Give an update on what has happened during his absence, for example. So this brings us to where it all boils down to. How do you retain the valuable people in your organization? How do you keep the back door closed? This slide summarizes everything that was said up to now. First pillar, give attention to the person, his ambition and his needs. Be authentic in your approach. Second, the bigger picture. Offer your employees a competitive remuneration package, but also the possibility to grow in your organization. Offer training sessions on the job or external. Write down all the advantages the employee benefits from. If you provide housing, travel allowances, insurances, transportation, fuel, etc., don't forget to also have those clearly written down. People tend to forget what they have and what all of this is costing to the company and ultimately saves them. They should know all of this because when they receive an offer from another company, they need to remember what you do for them. Thirdly, people feel more secure when they have a vision of where their career is going with your company. They should be able to identify with your company's mission, vision and values. Is there room for personal growth? If none of the foregoing is present, why would an employee stay with you? The last step in someone's employee journey with a company is of course the exit. This does not have to be a negative story. There's no such thing as goodbye. Ex-employees can become ambassadors for your company if the separation went smoothly. Don't forget to do an exit interview, and as one of the last questions, ask the employee to tell you about a positive experience in the company. Ask them what motivated them to stay on. In this way, the conversation ends with a good memory. Always look on the bright side of life. So this is the end of my presentation. I hope that you found my insights interesting and that you will incorporate them in your HR strategy. Have a nice day.